Hey guys, and welcome to or back to the Paws in Pursuit podcast with your host, Summer Clark. So today we have a super exciting guest. She was actually requested by one of you guys. We have Nia Rose, and we will be talking about her experience representing Team Wales at WAO. And she has also got selected for YKC Team GB and will be competing at the Junior Open Agility World Championships next week, which is super exciting. So we're going to talk about how she felt that WAO went and what she's doing to prepare for the Junior Open Agility World Championships next week. And she was also the champion at OJAC as well, so we'll be chatting a little bit about that. But I'm super excited to listen to what she has to say and see how junior agility has changed. She is obviously in the position I was all those years ago with Ethel, so I can't wait to see how it has changed in those years, and overall it'll just be super exciting. So she's going to be answering your questions that I asked you guys to ask her on my Instagram a week or so ago. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. So, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, do you want to just give a brief introduction about yourself?
So, my name is Nia Rose. I'm 15 and I compete in agility with my 7-year-old Labrador, Farley.
Farley is amazing. I love Farley. Also, I can't get over the fact that you're 15. Like, I'm 22 and I feel like we're the same age.
I know, yeah, it's weird.
It's so strange. I don't know whether you're very mature or I'm very immature. Either way. So the first question, and most of my guests get this one, is how and at what age did you get into agility?
So I started agility when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had some of the, just like the really cheap plastic equipment you get off Amazon.
We've all started that
way. Yeah. I think I had some of that, and I was just, loved it. Loved training Farley. Mm-hmm. Farley's my first dog. I don't really come from a sort of dog family.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Yeah. I'd always been just desperate for a dog. I can't ever really remember a time that I didn't want a dog. It's just, I was just my love. And then I got Farley when I was 8. And then I think it was my 10th birthday present. I was allowed agility lessons.
Oh wow, that's crazy. We actually sound so similar because I got Earl when I was 8 and then started when I was 10 as well.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so Farley she was 17 months at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just kind of like a for fun agility club.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the dodgy ones. Like, it was all safe equipment. It was fine. But they weren't a competitive club.
Yes.
And then eventually, sort of a few years later, like obviously, COVID and a few things in between, I switched to just a kennel club, mm-hmm. which was competitive. And then I started competing when I was 13. And that's sort of when we sort of properly started competing, I guess.
And then you hear about the YKC and all that, don't you? Like, I can do all of this.
Yeah. It's just, just YKC qualifiers at your random show and you're like, oh my God, I can get to crafts.
Yeah. How did you first hear of agility to get your plastic equipment, if that makes sense? Because my story's really funny. I used to play Nintendogs and I was like, oh, that's a thing. You can do that in real life.
Yeah. I think it was after I started agility, but I also played Nintendogs. Yeah. It was brilliant.
It's so good.
Yeah. But I think I'd seen some crafts on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's definitely a lot about crafts. I remember in year 5 and 6, whenever we had iPad time in school, I'd always want to watch the crafts agility.
Wow, that's amazing.
My friends thought I was a bit weird, but yeah.
Nah, if you were weird, then I was weird because I was exactly the same. But I didn't hear about crufts until after I'd actually got into agility, so I suppose that's the difference. Yeah, I know. I don't know how I didn't hear about it because it is literally everywhere, but... Yeah.
The biggest dog show in the world.
I know, crazy. I'm a fake fan of dogs, clearly.
Really?
And then the second question, which was also, you'll probably know who said this, is why is Farley so amazing?
Well, thank you to whoever said that.
I don't know how you answered that question, but I thought it was so good that I had to include it, even if it's not a serious one.
I don't know, I'll take it sort of how has Farley been successful in agility.
Yeah, we'll take it like that. Mm-hmm.
But I think it's her consistency, really.
Yeah,
because
100%.
She's a Labrador, so she's not that slow, but, especially thinking compared to some of the collies who are crazy fast, she's not a fast dog. I would never call her a fast dog.
But for a Labrador, I'd say she's pretty fast.
Yeah,
like I don't think I've ever seen a Labrador that fast before.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think I really see any Labradors, to be honest.
There are a few. If you look for them,
I probably don't watch large and intermediate enough because I'm a small, medium type of person. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's her consistency, really, because she just gets clear after clear.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And, you know, like some of her biggest achievements in agility, I would say she won the OJAC biathlon this year. And she got her win on spot onto Team GB. And those were because those two things are the result of a combined thing from 2 runs, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she was the only double clear. So it does kind of show you can actually get quite far to a lot of good places with just clear rounds if you know you've got that consistency.
Well, I had exactly the same experience with Ethel. Like she was never winning, but obviously she was on Team GB and all those things. And she was like the perfect team dog. And they always want dogs for the team event, and obviously you need all clears, ideally. Yeah. So, you know, Team GB, you know, they do look for those steadier, consistent dogs for those reasons, 100%. Because if you don't go clear, then, you know, doesn't matter how fast you are, does it? So.
Yeah, I was so worried before the tryouts. I was like, oh, she's going to have so many time faults. Like, she's going to make it. And then, like, at the training day, we were speaking to the management and they were like, we're looking for clear rounds. Yeah, I was like, oh, literally. So worried, did I?
Especially in juniors as well. Like, clear rounds are definitely huge.
Exactly, yeah.
Bless her. So she's perfect for that role, 100%.
Yeah, she is huge, yeah.
So the next question is, what is it like representing your country? So obviously you did WAO with an ABC dog. So again, this is kind of along the lines of not having that fast collie, you know, competing with a breed that's not sort of known for its speed and agility. So how was that? I don't really know what they really meant by that question, but what's it like, I guess?
Yeah. I don't know. It was definitely, I mean, I'm obviously quite used to her. She doesn't ever really get the fastest times in the class. I'm used to, you know, slowest clear round. I mean, less now than she used to. She has sped up a lot, but
with confidence, I guess, as well. She'll get faster.
Yeah. I think she's just learning to love the sport even more.
No,
I mean, she's 7 years old and she's getting faster. It's crazy. But yeah, I think internationally, it's just, you know, the top dogs internationally are just even faster. So it's just even more like that. And I think at WAO, so they have the 3 main events plus teams, but pentathlon, the scoring is, so your faults get converted into time and then added on to your time, and that's how they rank you, which is obviously different to our normal kennel club competitions in the UK. And I think that definitely sort of affected her results more than I thought, because even on like a clear, there would be the old dog with like 10 faults who'd be faster than her. Yeah,
exactly.
I was just like...
it's stupid, because Ethel used to do that. Like, she could get, say, 6 time faults. So then a really fast dog with 5 faults still beats her. And I'm like, no, but I was clear. And it's so annoying.
I know, it's really frustrating. Like, she got a clear round, but she'd be, you know, in some of them near the ease at the bottom. Yeah,
that is so annoying. It also makes you feel like international competitors sort of value speed, which is really annoying, because it's like, well, no.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is irritating. Another thing is they get the course time from the winner's time, don't they? Did they do that at WAO as well?
I don't think they do for the...
Oh, okay.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't, but they definitely do for GB tryouts.
Yeah, I was going to say they did for when I was on Team GB, and it just really irritated me, because like they could have one really fast dog that was in the lead, and then like what I had to be depended on that, and it was really irritating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've done this was my second year sort of trying out for GB. In 2022, we just did the PSQ.
Okay.
And she had 2 or 3 clears there, I think, but she had like 7 time faults or like 9 time faults.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Really so I was really worried for this year. She was going to get so many time faults. And my goal was to get less than 5 faults in the combined rounds, because obviously it's like in round 1 or 2 today. And actually, out of the PSQ and the tryouts, she was actually so good. She had 8 out of 8 clear round with time faults missing, but 8 out of 8 clear rounds.
Still a
PSQ clear. Exactly. So they're not technically, but I was very proud of that.
8 out of 8 is insane.
Yeah, I don't think any other dog in Britain did that, so I was so proud of that.
That is amazing.
In the combined rounds of 3 out of 4 of them, she had less than 5 time faults in all of them.
Mission accomplished then.
And it was 106% of the winner's time in the tryouts, which is a very tight course time.
That is very tight, yeah. International stuff seems to be. It's quite annoying.
Yeah.
But I like how, like a lot of the big important events, like, for example, champ finals and stuff, like they come from a combined result, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's nice because then they've got a bit of both in it.
Yeah, and it's Agility Dog of the Year. That they do that as well now with the qualifiers, don't they?
Yeah,
that's combined. Yeah. And it never used to be like that. Like when I tried out for Team GB, there wasn't that. There was, what was it? It was a final, and you could only win on through like one run, if that makes sense, for the final.
Oh wow, I didn't realise that.
So it was combined for the final, but then you had to like win or come second in the actual final to get on, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't just from combined. So it wasn't quite the same. So that was obviously difficult. I always relied on just the management liking me and Ethel, really, instead of winning on. But no, I definitely think there's, they've pushed for more of that combined element, which is really good because it, it's not, when you're relying on one run, it could just be like a pole or anything annoying. But if it's 2 runs, it's sort of, if you do well in 2 runs, then it's not just a fluke even. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that is really helpful.
It's just a slightly wider range to show your consistency.
Definitely. I think it definitely opens it up to more types of dogs than just those like flat out collies and such, especially large.
Definitely. Yeah, because there are a few nice ABC dogs on the team this year, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Have you competed at Crufts, didn't you, in the ABC?
Yes.
Yeah. What did you come second? Is it second?
Yeah, in 2023 and 2022 as well.
Wow. Next year you'll win, 100%.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure I heard a rumour that it's combined heights next year.
Oh.
Some people were saying it was like that for this year, but then it wasn't. So
I know the jumping is. Because the 18 to 24 jumping was, because I came second in that, beat by a large collie, and I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
So I hate it when they do that. I think that's the one thing the YKC shouldn't do it if I was in charge of it, is combine heights. Like, how can that happen? Like, the leg size is different. Like, that's so unfair.
I know, and I mean, for ABC, it's sort of a competition that's supposed to be breed specific.
Yeah. That makes it not very breed specific.
Yeah, it just seems a bit of a random decision. But at least it's separate heights for the qualifying process.
Yeah,
so I think we'll still qualify. It's just maybe she won't do so well in the final.
Yeah.
So.
But as long as you get there, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
So number 4 is competing in grade 7 at large height more difficult with an ABC dog? So again, kind of ties on to the last question, because you are grade 7 now, aren't you?
Yes, I am grade 7, but I only went grade 7 a few weeks ago, so I think we're actually still in limbo.
Oh, okay. So you haven't actually competed in grade 7 yet?
No, so I can't really answer that, but...
we'll say 6, because often 6 and 7 are in the same class anyway, so I think that still pretty much counts. Yeah,
and I think through grade progression, it definitely has been more difficult, there are more challenges.
Yeah.
But, well, I don't think it's specific to her being an ABC dog, more just that she's a slow dog.
Yeah.
So we've had so many amazing, like, Kelpie, even the Labradors, who are really quick and really can keep up with the collies.
Yeah, true.
But in terms of having a slower dog in, like, going through the grades, it definitely has been more difficult because, I mean, we've been doing agility for, like, 3 or 4 years before we started competing, which I think is quite a while compared to dogs. So she was starting out in grade 1, she was already at like quite a high level. I mean, not really, but like she was definitely capable of doing much better.
Yeah, got more skills than a lot of the other grade 1s.
Yeah, exactly. And she won out of grade 1 at her first show, because we did quite a small show and it's grade 1, so then,
Yeah.
But then going up through the rest of the grades was a bit more difficult. I think you were talking about this on one of your podcasts recently, but you went up on points.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to ask that, yeah. Someone asked me if I would do it, and I've never really had to, if that makes sense. Like, when Ethel was going up the grades, agility wasn't quite as fast, what we're talking like 5 years ago or whatever. But, these days, if I brought Ethel back, for example, she'd definitely struggle to go up the grades now, because obviously the dogs just keep getting faster, and, you know, people keep getting more young dogs that are faster, and, you know, they're all seem to be spaniels and collies and all those kind of things. So and obviously with Arrow, he's so quick that I've never really had to go up on points. But, you know, have you ever done that, or have you just done it from wins?
Yeah, so 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, she went up on points. And then that's when the point system stops and you have to get wins.
Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't even realise the point system stopped, to be honest, because, like I said, I've never used it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit depressing when she reached grade 4. I was like, oh no, she's never going to get to grade 5.
I see. So you can win up on points to 4, but then after 4 it has to be wins. Okay. See, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
No, I was very aware of that. So I was like, oh,
oh no, it's happening.
Yeah.
But I talked about that, didn't I, on my last episode, about how if you keep getting like seconds and thirds, so you're getting up the points, and you know your dog is capable of the high grade courses, like I bet you get a bit bored doing like the grade 1, 2, 3 courses. Like, you know your dog's capable, so why not win up, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, Farley was like 5 years old, been doing agility most of her life. She had all the skills, and just kept getting clears and clears, not wins. So it's just there's just no point keeping her down, is there? I mean, I didn't even think about waiting for the wins. I was just like, no, going straight up. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Different dogs, different situations, how you choose to progress. Because some people want to like hold their dogs back a bit more because, you know, they're fast, they're getting the wins to win up. But at the same time, they know they're still a baby and they're not ready. Do you get what I mean? Like when Arrow went into 6, because he won up on wins, obviously I was thinking, well, I don't actually know if he's quite ready for 6, 7 courses. And then I did go into 6, 7 courses and he was like, oh, my brain. So that's like the opposite scenario, whereas you were in the lower grades thinking, yeah, my dog has all the skills, as she's proving now she's grade 7.
Yeah, and I think especially going from 6 to 7, because by the time she reached grade 6, I was like, right, we've got this far. I know we can get grade 7. So I was really desperate. I wanted to get the wins in a bit of a rush, really, because I wanted her to have a few champs in this season.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it has been a matter of, 2 things, really. So going either the really, really small shows that I know that will have really low entries, where she has quite a high chance of winning, just being the only player around. And then also shows like Dog Sports Derby and Iconics, which have the international judges. And
harder courses. Yeah, definitely.
And she's had a few wins at Iconics because just no one else gets round them and she does. And obviously good for international event prep as well. So
well, that's perfect. That should give you a bit of confidence going into these international events, you know, thinking, well, actually, she's better at these courses than normal courses anyway, whereas some people might be the opposite. Some people with faster dogs might be like, oh, yeah, I can do KC courses, but then, you know, worrying about the harder courses. So I guess you're in a nice position for that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever had wins with time faults? Because I used to have that all the time with Earl and Ethel, where I was waiting to win up, and they were like 1 second out the course time, so I couldn't win up. Have you ever had that?
No, she's only ever had time faults on a run in KC competitions that would have otherwise been clear once. It's only happened once.
Oh, okay.
And it was like 0 point something, and I was like,
no, yeah.
But yeah, no, she's never had any wins on faults.
Okay, that's good, because they're so frustrating.
Actually, I know. It's the same as like if you've got all your jumping wins and you need an agility win, you keep getting jumped.
Oh, that was Arrow for so long.
That happened for years.
Yeah, honestly, it's so frustrating. Yeah. How did you find that then? Because obviously you need 5 wins now to get 7. Did you have that situation where you were having loads of jumping and waiting for agility, or was it pretty even?
Well, it wasn't exactly loads of jumping, but she got a jumping win first, and then she got an agility and a jumping in the same day. And then she did end up with 2 extra jumping wins.
Oh, okay.
But same show, she also got an agility win, and then so it wasn't
so
really
it's pretty
that
even,
bad,
I suppose that's a consistency thing as well. You know, she's a bit of both. Exactly.
Yeah.
Bless her.
But I was worried we were going to end up in that situation because she got all her jumping wins. I was like, oh, only need agility now. And I was like, is it going to be ages? But
it's so annoying. And then sometimes, people are waiting for agility wins, and it's not even the contacts that stop them. It's stupid things like poles or something. And it's like, for God's sake, wouldn't happen if it was a jumping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know plenty of people and they've got solid contacts and, you know, very consistent contacts, but it's
honestly, it's so annoying. When's your first champ?
It's going to be KCI champ.
Same.
So,
Arrow's first champ is KCI as well. It's like right at the deep end.
Yeah, quite a big one to start.
Be fun though. It's definitely a fun show to do champ at.
Yeah. But that was my goal, because I mean, I watched the KCI champ last year and it was so great. And I was thinking, next year, I want that to be, I want to be there next year.
The atmosphere is amazing for the final.
Yeah, and I've just been planning, I was just like, this weekend actually was the deadline that she had to get her last wins for.
Perfect.
To be able to KCI champ, so like, need to get
nice,
the wins. This year, please win it.
Yeah, bless her. And with champ as well, like it is like you need to be in the top 20 overall. So, you know, having a more consistent dog. I mean, Ethel's got through to loads of finals. Obviously, she's not the fastest, but, you know, being in that top 20, you don't get loads of double clears, especially because champ is often some of the faster dogs. There's a lot of really fast dogs that never get through to the final because they just didn't, you know, they got an E or something. So
exactly,
that's the nice thing about champ.
I'm not expecting her to go in and win loads of tickets or anything, but, you know, it'd just be nice just to run in the final.
No, that's it, yeah.
That's an achievement in itself.
Exactly. And like with Ethel, I knew she'd never get a ticket, but still, when I got into the final, I was like, you feel up there, don't you? So it is, you know, it's not always about that actual win. It's just knowing that you're up there, you know. And as well, I think the nicest thing is when you know you're getting the best out of that dog, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like with Ethel, yes, you may come 10th or whatever in a final, but I thought, but I've literally like got the best out of her. Like I've trained her to her best point, if that makes sense, which is always a nice feeling. It's kind of a personal win, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm quite looking forward to competing in grade 7 is you just don't have to think about winning your standard classes anymore. It's just like qualify and champ.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you've got to focus on. And it's just a bit more relaxed in that sense.
Yeah. And if you want to like train things in the ring, then you can just throw runs. Do you get what I mean? And train those normal classes. So that's really nice as well.
And especially with a slower dog, it's just like every run you have to be getting clear just in case.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, she knocked a pole, it's fine, she can win the next one. And,
yeah. And if you're trying to save money or travel less on petrol or whatever, then you can always just enter shows with qualifiers or champ because you don't need those little shows anymore.
Exactly, yeah, this is just no reason. You can just, because it has been a matter of, you know, I'll have these shows for grade progression and these shows for qualifiers, but now it doesn't matter, I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly, it's great. So, number 5 is, do you think consistency is more important than speed in agility? Now, again, I'd say this is more of an opinion-based answer. Like, I feel like everyone has a different response.
I mean, I don't know, really. It's hard to say, because I've
isn't it?
The experience of a very consistent dog, and I think she's managed to get very far in agility, especially in junior, with her consistency alone and not much speed.
Yeah.
I haven't really had that experience of running a super fast dog.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's always up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are certain things in agility Farley's just never going to be able to achieve.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Casey Stakes, Olympia, not Olympia, that's obviously known for being sort of slightly easier courses in a way, just for the really fast dogs. I know something like that. She's, you know, never going to make the final.
Like more of a steeplechase vibe, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, especially at the top levels and international, she's not going to get, like, a gold medal in biathlon or something, or, you know.
And I guess it depends, I guess it depends what you're going for as well, as in what's more important.
Exactly, it depends on your personal goals.
So if you're going for Olympia, then yes, speed's probably more important. But if you're going for a team position on Team GB, for example, then consistency's probably more important.
Yeah,
I feel like you can't really answer that question specifically. It depends on each situation.
Yeah.
Again, you need a bit of both, don't you, in a sense?
Exactly,
I don't think one is more important than the other, really.
No.
Yeah.
And I guess also in a way, like, consistency is partly trained. I mean, I guess having a slow dog does make it easier because you have more reaction time. But, you know, a lot of it is down to training as well.
Exactly.
As well. But if you've got a dog who's just not that athletically talented, there is a limit to how fast they can run.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can have a super fast dog and then over time train them to be more consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Like with Arrow, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so potentially leaning more towards the speed in that sense, but I guess it really does depend. Yeah. You can overthink that question 100%.
Yeah, there's not really a right answer to that, is there?
No. It's interesting though. Again, different people's opinions probably.
Yeah.
I guess it stems from like what you've been through with your own dogs as well, as in like with Ethel. When I was running Ethel, I always thought speed's more important. You know, like I stopped getting the wins and stuff, and I was like, well, I think speed's more important at this point because I'm not getting the results with consistency. But then with Arrow, you know, he's going flat out, but then getting those faults, and I'm like, well, really, consistency is more important in this situation. So
yeah,
it is very subjective.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to WAO now. So what was your favourite part of WAO? You can do a bit of reminiscing about it here.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's one singular thing I would say, but I don't know. I think that feeling of when you get a clear round, like just a really good run in international competition, you know, the crowd and the atmosphere and everything, it just makes that sort of good feeling of a good run so much better. Because Farley's, her first run at WAO, she ran a lovely clear, and that was in the team agility, team agility 1. And well, in the end, unfortunately, there was an error with Team Wales's entry. So
really?
Team Wales got disqualified from the team event.
Oh no!
Which, it wasn't really anyone's fault. It was just,
one of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying though.
It does show up as an E on the results, but I promise you, it was a clear. Yeah. She wasn't 9.
I believe you. Oh, bless her.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really cool. But then it also sort of works in the other way, that if you have a run that didn't go to plan, then it almost feels worse because
everything's elevated into it, like the emotions.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is just more.
Yeah, I think of it as like it's a normal run on steroids.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean everyone sort of says in the tryouts like, I couldn't care less what happens at the championships. I just want to be there. Obviously, that's a big part of it. But when you're stood on that start line, you're not thinking, "I'm so glad to be here."
Yeah,
exactly. I'm a competitive person.
Yeah,
you want
me
to
too.
Do well.
Like in my podcast with Ant, he was saying about how, you know, like, yes, it's about the taking part, but also when you've put so much effort in and travelled all that way, like, you want to win. Like, it doesn't, that you can have a good team spirit and be a good sports person, but you're still going to be a bit miffed if you don't go clear or something, because it means a lot to you.
They say, it's all about participation. It's not.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I'm here to win. I mean, I always say, like, it is a competition at the end of the day. Like, if we didn't, if at least a little bit of us didn't really want to win, we just wouldn't. Like, we wouldn't spend the money, we wouldn't, like, put the emotions and the time into it. We just train. So,
exactly.
You know, you kind of can't really deny it. Like, we all want to win, really. And there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
Yeah. But also, I think, some of the really cool things about it, it's just nice just sort of meeting juniors and other people all around the world. And I think that'll be, again, at JAC as well, meeting lots of juniors.
Yeah.
But I made quite good friends with the USA 600 junior.
Oh, wow, okay,
And she was also running an ABC dog, and we were in the same, like, group rotation, and we would have, like, similar running orders. So we'd have our little warm-up chats.
Yeah.
And, it's just really cool to be there. And I was thinking, like, my friends right now in school, you know, doing...
Yeah, it's surreal almost, isn't it? It's like...
Doing this. It's amazing.
It is crazy. Like, it's just one of those experiences where you're like, I'd never thought I'd be in this situation. Like, I remember my first year of EOJ was in Luxembourg. And I had a similar thing in one of my classes. There was a girl, and it actually turned out that we had the same birthday. So every year since, we messaged each other like, "Happy birthday, twin!" And I'm like, I literally wouldn't have met her if it wasn't for like agility and getting on the team. And it's just one of those opportunities that you just can't take for granted, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with only limited years as a junior, you've got to make the most of it all.
I bet it feels nice to have like a substantial amount of years left in juniors.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, Farley's 7 now, so I'm a bit worried.
True.
2024 and 2025, but I don't think she'll be running in 2025.
Yeah. You've got your pup though, haven't you?
I have, yeah, but she won't be old enough to run in any GB stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a bit of a shame. I think she will have 1 year for WAO juniors because you know WAC they have the really annoying rule. It's determined on how old you turn in that year.
Yeah.
So even though it's an under-19 competition, 1 year I'm going to be 18, but still not allowed to run.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, that makes
really
sense.
Annoying. I'm born in September, so
okay, yeah. Yeah, that is really annoying.
But it just does it like in a normal way. It's your birthday at the time of the championships.
Yeah, true. I mean, I guess you just got to enjoy it while you can. Like, I'm annoyed because I'm like, oh, I feel so old now, I have no years left. But I'm like, wait, I did have 3 great years on Team GB as a junior, so at least that happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you just gotta enjoy it while it's happening, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've never actually done WAO or even tried out for it, but I would like to do it with Arrow, but I'm quite confused at like the rules being different and stuff. It's UKA based, isn't it?
Yeah, I think because, well, not anymore, but he used to own UKA and he runs WAO, so that's, yeah.
See, I have no UK shows near me, so I've never really got into it. They're all like, whereabouts do you live? If that's not creepy.
I'm in Monmouthshire in South Wales, so there are actually not like local UK shows, but there are a lot in the sort of like Gloucester area.
Yeah.
But I've only ever actually done. Well, I did 1 UKA show last September, and then she got like 2 points and qualified bottom of the table for the junior grand finals. So I was like, oh yeah, let's go to grand finals. So yeah, I've done 2 UKA shows, but it's just there's so many KC shows to do as well. I don't really have the time, and it's just not really something I prioritise.
No, that's what I was thinking as well. But so, what are the events at WAO? Because there's like the gamblers and stuff like that. Is that WAO? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What ones were there?
So they have pentathlon, which is the one with the time to false to time scoring, like I explained earlier. And that is. Well, you do 2 rounds and you have to get into round 3 and 4. And then from that, you have to get into the final. So if you make it all the way through, it's out of 5 runs.
Okay. God, that's a lot of runs.
Yeah. But I thought it'd be like perfect for Farley. But we didn't really do so well in pentathlon. We just, it just didn't really go our way.
Yeah, happens.
Yeah. And then there is biathlon, which is just like the same as OJAC biathlon, normal scoring and just 2 rounds. And then they have the team event, which is again vaults to time. And they have 4 rounds, which everyone does. And then the top 8 teams make it into the final. Wales obviously didn't make the final. And then games. Has snooker as your first round, and then gamblers is the final.
Gamblers is where you have to like run and do that little section at the end, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think it's the top 30 dogs from snooker go through. And so Farley, she didn't make pent finals, but she did make bi finals and the gamblers finals. But yeah, I've never actually done any games like in competition before WAO.
Oh wow, okay. Straight in the deep end.
Yeah, because the tryouts for Wales are in November, so that's when I found out I made the team. And then there's no UKA shows over winter.
Yeah, true.
And I think there were a few I could have gone to in April, but we were away for 2 weeks in April. And then,
just got to wing it then.
Yeah, so I did do like some training sessions and stuff, like watch loads of videos and analyse the rules.
Yeah.
And I think I focused a lot on snooker. And then, so snooker went really, really well, but gamblers didn't really.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of underestimated how hard it is to make a good and well-timed plan.
Yeah, because you've got to just make your own course, haven't you? Pretty much.
Yeah, because I thought, like, you just run around for 30 seconds, do the closing. Like, how hard can it be?
It's got to be right, though, hasn't it? It's got to, like, flow.
Yeah, whereas snooker, if you read the rules of it, it sounds so much more confusing. But I actually
But it's actually easier to, like, execute.
Yeah, once you get it, I think it's easier.
They sound all confusing to me, but I might have to do a bit of dabbling at some point.
Yeah.
But even with...
It's good fun to do.
But even with OJAC, that's all changed as well since I did it, because they never had pentathlon or biathlon or anything when I did it.
Oh, they don't have pentathlon now, but they have...
They're biathlon.
Yeah, and then the speed offs, which is the case.
Yeah, they've kept that.
And then teams, yeah.
Yeah, so they've just added the biathlon, I suppose. It was probably a similar principle, but just has a better name now, I guess. Got a bit more professional.
Yeah.
So this question, what would you do differently if you could redo WAO?
Well, I think a bit of like what I was talking about earlier, I would probably be a bit more prepared for gamblers.
Yeah.
Because I was also thinking, like, I wasn't really that convinced we would actually get through to gamblers, so I was like focused more on snooker.
So you did, and you were like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had done a bit of preparation, but I was definitely more focused on snooker.
Enough to know what it was about.
Yeah. I might have done that a bit differently. And I don't know, I guess the other thing would maybe try and go in with a different mindset.
Okay.
So I think the step up from national to international competition is crazy. Like, you can't really like. There's no way to really prepare for it.
Yeah.
But I guess
I totally get it.
I don't know. I just try and be a bit more relaxed about it because, you know, the faults and the ease we got at WAO, it wasn't really like Farley's skills or any issues like that. It was kind of handler errors just on the day.
And nerves as well. Like, I feel like it's everyone's going to be, especially your first international competition. Like, I remember my very first run at my very first international competition, and I just did a stupid thing that I watched back and I'm like, why did I do that? And it was literally just because I was nervous. Like, I was just fumbling and like was in slightly the wrong place and pushed around the back. But then I think you can't really prepare for that. Like you said, it's more just experience. No. So now you've got that out the way with.
But those nothing I could have really done.
You need to have that first try, and then, you know, the next few years were way less nerve-wracking for me. And I guess you've got JO next week, haven't you? Yeah. So at least you've already had that first international one. So hopefully it will benefit you going into that. So, you know, I feel like there's not a lot you can change about just getting through your first international event. I think that it just is what it is at this point.
Yeah. And like you saying, you had your first run with Ethel didn't go very well. I mean, like Farley's first run, like I said earlier, it was amazing. Yeah. Then her second run, which was pentathlon jumping. So for the juniors like thing at WAO, teams doesn't count because not all juniors end up running in any teams.
Okay.
So it's the other 3 events that actually count for like your junior podiums. So this was the first event that like really mattered for that. And I ended up forgetting the course, I guess. No. Not like completely mind blank forgot it, but I just took the wrong. There were 2 jumps side by side, and I was just like, which one is it? And then I went on the other one. And honestly, painful to watch that video back. I really hate it. And then I think that kind of made me a bit like paranoid for every other run. I was like, oh my God, I forget what I'm doing.
True.
And then I wasn't thinking about everything else, and
no, I know, I've been there. It's not nice, but what can you do? You tried.
But I'm hoping we'll be able to go into the junior world champs now. Just we know what it's like, a bit more prepared.
Yeah.
But also, I haven't set any like expectations or anything. I haven't really set any like goals or you know, just gonna go in and try our best, and what happens.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you can say you've done WAO, but you know, EO is also still different. So it is, it's still your first go at this kind of event in a way. So I think, you know, your first time at anything, you can't be too sort of, not hard on yourself, but you can't have too higher expectations, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so I've lost where I am. Oh yeah, this one leads on really well. So I always struggle saying it, JOAWC. I'm just going to call it Junior Champs like you did. Junior Champs is just around the corner. How are you feeling? So we've kind of already talked a bit about this, but if you could sum up how you are going into it, you know, overall, what would you say?
I feel mostly quite excited. Definitely a bit nervous as well. But yeah, I'm interested to sort of see how different it will be to WAO. I think obviously it's just juniors. And yeah, so I don't know I think that'll probably be a better thing, but yeah, and obviously it's in the UK for the first time, I think, this year.
Yes,
so,
it is, yeah.
Yeah, so it's obviously not the travelling involved, but I think it'll be really cool to have like the home crowd and everything there as well.
Definitely. I mean, I'll be there because you probably saw I'm the white dog with Arrow.
Yeah.
So I'll be there to watch everything. I'm so excited to go back to it because like it was so good when I was competing. So it'd be nice to like be surrounded by all the countries again, even though I'm well old.
Yeah. Back.
But would you say you're feeling more confident going into it after WAO?
Probably, yeah. Probably slightly more nervous as well, I guess. Now
I guess you know what it feels like as well. So
yeah. But I guess I'm going to be more prepared. So yeah, and I think we've prepped ourselves well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really do it. As long as you go into it knowing you've done everything, you can't.
Exactly.
The rest is out of your control, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, okay, where am I again? So, how do you prepare for events such as WAO, Junior Open, and OJAC? So, in the build-up to those events, do you do anything differently or specifically for those, or just train like normal?
So, OJAC, not really, because the hardest courses you see at OJAC, I'd say probably around about 6-7 level in like YKC, and that's what we compete on now anyway. So I don't really do any special prep for OJAC, but for the Junior World Champs and WAO, definitely do. So obviously lots of your fitness and conditioning stuff.
Yes.
The hand around the dog, really. Just make sure you're both as ready as you can be. And then I also try and do a sort of mixture of like skills and course running. So I'm quite lucky. I do have a fairly big garden to train at home.
That always helps.
Yeah, but I don't have like the equipment or quite enough space to run full courses.
Yeah, me too.
So I do most of my skills training at home and then course running stuff with my trainer because I do like weekly 1-to-1 training now. And my trainer is absolutely amazing. Like she's really good at setting up like courses from the judges. So I'll send her some course maps.
Who do you train with?
Rachel Williams in Ross on Wye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Shout out.
She's really good. yeah. So yeah, that's really useful. I think I would probably like to do more course running.
Yeah.
But it's just
limited though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't drive, so it's
I mean, I'm exactly the same. Like I can drive, but it still costs to obviously go higher places and do extra training. So, what would you say again? A bit like the speed versus consistency. Do you have either course running or skills like at the top of your priority? Like, what would you say is more important if you had to choose one? Do you think like what benefits you the most?
I don't know. That's hard to say, really.
It's another hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, 'cause I do think your skills training is really important because, you're going to the championships, you're running these really hard courses. You don't want to be let down by, like, missed weave entry or, missed contact or something like that. Just the little things. But then if you've got all of that, then you need to be able to make sure that you can do the course running.
Yeah.
So
a lot of it's like as well, you can have a skill like on one jump, for example, but then can your dog do that skill with a massive run up? Do you know what I mean? Like it's all stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I think to be successful, you need to do both, really. There's not. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's probably dog dependent what you might need to focus on.
I mean, when Arrow was younger, I definitely did more skills than course running because obviously I was doing it every day in the garden. But now he's got all those skills, I pretty much just do mostly course running. So again, it depends on where the dog's at in their training journey, if you like. So I think I'd probably say at the start of your training, skills, but then once you get into properly competing, course running. So I think it changes. Yeah. I think skills to start with, and then once your dog's got the skills, you need to course run to incorporate those into a course. Yeah. So I'd say it changes, definitely.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Farley's, she's got all the skills now. It's just maintaining them and proofing them with everything you can think of, really.
Exactly. Another thing I was thinking with the Junior Open being in the UK is good, is obviously the travelling, like you said, can like take it out of you a lot. Like, you can be knackered from spending like a day in the car or whatever, the heat difference as well. So I think that's another thing to be confident about, is thinking, actually, this is my country. Like, I always compete in this country, in this climate. You haven't been travelling for ages. So I think that's definitely helpful this year.
Yeah, and especially it's in Dallas Burton, I think it's called, the Iconics venue. So we've been there.
I love it. Yeah.
Before. So
literally,
we know the venue. She's run there before. We know it's a good venue. It's on sand as well, which is great because sand is Farley's favourite surface.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, I think that'll be good.
Amazing. So, do you prefer junior events such as OJAC to normal competitions? And if so, why is this? So you're saying that OJAC, the courses are pretty similar to like normal 6-7, but for the actual whole event, do you prefer going and it all being juniors or not? Or do you think it's just the same? Or do you prefer going and it being a mixture of juniors and adults?
I'd say probably I prefer OJAC to your just average KC competition. But I think it's kind of nice to do as like an annual thing. Like I don't want to do it every weekend.
Yeah,
but
true.
It's always an event I look forward to doing every year. But I think just having all your juniors there and loads of my friends, and especially because juniors in agility, there's not that many of us. Everyone's quite like spread out over the country.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You don't get to see your friends like that often, so it's quite nice. It's something that brings a lot of people together. I think the team event is really, really fun as well because it's just great fun, really. Just do it with your friends and see what happens.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like a weekend thing as well, like not just a one-off random show in a day. Like you kind of have to do the whole thing to do it. If that makes sense. Like you're not going to go and just do the first day of it and then not come back for the second day. So I think that's quite nice as well. But I always preferred the junior events because, like I said, all my friends were there. It kind of felt more like a social thing as well as just competing. If that makes sense, which is nice.
Yeah. Because sometimes at like your normal shows, there'll just be sort of a few people there and you speak to them. But they'll just be, in the junior circuit, you generally tend to know sort of most people, will be friends with quite a lot of them. And it's just great to have everyone there. Yeah.
It's just a shame, like with my mates in agility, like I only see them like twice a year or something like that. And it's always at those shows, like the big shows like KCI or stuff like that. Because everyone's so spread out, aren't they?
Yeah.
But... oh well. So, do you have to handle Farley and Topic differently? And do you struggle to switch between them? So obviously you run Topic as well, don't you?
Yes. So Topic is actually my trainer's dog. He's a Nova Scotia Duck-Trolling Retriever. So another retriever like Farley, but he's definitely a lot faster. But I don't run him like all the time. It'll just be the occasional junior class. Like here's like my trainer's competing dog, but I just borrow him every now and then. yeah, basically. But yeah, and they're very different dogs to run. I wouldn't really say I struggle with it, but definitely been a bit of a learning journey to learn how to handle them differently.
I suppose that's good for you as well to like experience running a different speed dog.
Yeah, and he's got running contacts and Farley's got dog walk.
Okay.
So obviously that makes a difference. And, with my next dog, she's definitely going to have running contacts. Yeah. I'm hoping she's going to be really fast.
Yeah.
It's just good experience, really. It's just something different.
But I remember when I ran Ethel and Arrow at the same time, it'd be weird because they're the polar opposites. Like, if I ran one, especially if it was like the same course or whatever, like I'd run one and like with Ethel, I'd have to handle her so close to her and I would never leave her to do something by herself. And then Arrow, I'd have to be the opposite. Like I have to leave him to do stuff, otherwise I'm not going to get there. So I did find that quite difficult swapping between them. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to handle them so much differently to get the most out of them.
Like when I'm course walking, after like the first time I walk it, I'll be like, right, walking it as if I'm running Farley.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Topic mentality, and then you've got to between them.
It is that mental shift, definitely. It's quite difficult.
Yeah.
But it's good practice.
And there's just some of the little things, especially Topic not being a dog that I've like actually trained up myself.
Yeah.
Like just for example, the way that I handle threadles, I do it really differently with Farley than with Topic. And yeah, so with Farley, I generally stay like quite far back and just give her lots of space to make sure she comes in. But Topic, you've got to be like quite up there and close.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll come in, but then he runs past the jump. So you've got to. It's just me getting used to it, really.
Have you ever had it where you've like handled one dog like the other dog by accident, like by default, and then I used to have that all the time. Like I'd go with Arrow where I'd go too close to something and then I'd just not make it to the next bit. as if I was handling Ethel. And then the opposite way, I'd like try and send Ethel to something. And because she was like a proper Velcro dog, she just wouldn't go. She'd just stand there and look at me like, why are you not going with me?
Yeah, exactly.
It's tricky. I love that breed though. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, they really are.
You don't see a lot of them. I think I have seen one in agility, maybe 1 or 2 in agility before. I think there might be one in Champ, I think, that I see quite regularly.
Yeah, I think that's Amanda and Fun.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But they are beautiful. I like their colour.
Yeah, I do. I think I would quite fancy having a toddler one day.
To be fair, there's a lot of breeds that I'm like, I really want one of those one day. But when it had actually come to it, I'd be like, would I actually?
Yeah.
So, who is your biggest role model in agility and why?
I don't know. I think that's quite a difficult question.
It is. There's so many.
Really, like one person who particularly, but I don't know. I think Martin Reed is
100%.
really cool.
I always say my trainer.
Yeah. My trainer as well, to be honest. She's amazing.
But my trainer's also Lucy Norton, who is a competitor too, so she kind of fits both the bills.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, and Joe Nash as well, who runs Lulu the Labrador.
Oh yeah. She won at Olympia, didn't she, that year, ABC?
Yeah, and she's won a ticket with Lulu as well. Oh yeah. Which is really cool. I don't know if she's the only Labrador to win a ticket. I'm not sure. She's the only one I know of who's won a ticket.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any others.
Very inspirational.
No, that makes sense though, because she's literally in kind of your position, do you know what I mean? So it's good for you to take inspiration thinking, it is possible to do this with a Labrador, so that's really cool.
And I have seen the occasional champ. I think recently there have been a few that just haven't really had that many clears, and I've been like, Arthur's in there, I could be up there.
I think courses might be getting harder as well, Like there's a lot of shows where, judges are kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit skills-wise, which is always fun and frustrating, but mostly fun. So that's cool. And definitely good for the more consistent dogs as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So what are your future agility goals? So going forward, obviously you've got your international event coming up, but, for the future, what would you like to achieve?
So I would really like to get to the Crofts main arena with Farley.
Same.
But yeah, last year, she was so close with novice ABC. But yeah, because last year they had the maximum of 3 breeds rule. And Farley, she was the joint third Labrador. They both had the same number of points.
Oh, okay.
But then because the other dog had a higher placing than us in one of the...
Oh, that's so annoying, yeah.
They invited that dog and
which was quite... Yeah. What do you mean by max 3 breeds?
So it's the top 15 dogs, but then they only invite a maximum of 3 breeds, so the top 3 Labradors, and then it will roll down.
Oh, I see. Okay,
yeah. Got a rare breed, it's great, but there are obviously quite a lot of Labradors.
Yeah, no, that's true. Oh, that's so annoying.
So she did come 7th overall, which was like...
Yeah.
And now, this year, they've changed the rules and they've just scrapped that rule.
Oh, really?
So I'm thinking that if this was... they've done last year, they would have qualified easily.
I swear there have been so many rule changes this year. Like YKC, everything's just changed. I'm like, what's going on?
But yeah, because it's a 1 to 5 qualifier. She can never do that again now.
Yeah.
So I'm really sad we missed out on that because we would have had to get through the semi-finals, but I know she could have done that. She's a consistent dog.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think we could have got to the finals. But it's like she was so close, but so far.
But stuff like the ABC, obviously, now what is it? So it's novice ABC, and then what's the 6-7 version? What's it called?
It's ABC Stakes.
That's it, yeah. So there's that and singles as well. So they're points, aren't they? So that's I think.
I don't know if ABC. I don't think that's points because that's the same as like.
Oh yeah, isn't it like top 3 or something goes through to a semi, like KCI or something, and then through to Crufts, something like that.
No, that's the finals at Olympia.
Oh, that's the Olympia one. Okay.
Yeah.
There's so many different ones.
There's no ABC 5 to 7 at Crufts.
Okay. Oh, I thought there was.
No.
Oh, there's too many things. I'm getting confused because obviously I was in a qualifier at Wellingborough and it was medium ABC Crufts.
Yeah, the medium is a 1 to 7. But largely
Oh, I thought it'd all be the same.
No,
that's so ridiculous.
Yeah. And then the only ABC 5 to 7 they have is large, and then if you're an intermediate in grade 6 or 7,
that's what I was getting confused about, because I was like, I swear I just did one of those with Arrow and he's grade 7. But yeah, that's so annoying. That's kind of heightist.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? How bizarre.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
But yeah, you've got your singles. That's points, isn't it? And that's for the main arena.
I guess so. I've been looking at some of like the singles results, and there'll be so many clears.
Yeah,
so
true.
I don't really think I'm going to properly chase singles. I think YKC are just obviously making the finals.
Yeah.
So that will probably be our best chance.
100%. I think you've got a good chance at that.
Yeah, but it's only top 2 though, so
hopefully it's just a difficult course.
Exactly, that's what I'm hoping. A really hard course.
Is that combined results? How does that? So the new rules are the semis in the YKC ring, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the top 2 of that go through to the final.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think I think you can do that.
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. At least 1 year. I mean, you've got plenty of years left in YKC.
Yeah, exactly.
Bless her. Maybe that could be her retirement year, the year she wins in the main arena. Bless her.
Maybe.
Saying that, she's 7. A lot of dogs, I think Arrow's going to be best when he's like 7, 8. I think he takes a while to mature. A lot of dogs, especially if you keep them fit, like they can be going till they're like double digits. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because she's a Labrador and she's for a Labrador, she's not heavily built at all. But, it's just kind of got to the point now where I'm like, we definitely got a bit longer, but then after that, you just don't really
don't you? Yeah.
So I'm not really trying to like plan that we're going to do this and that year.
I mean, Ethel was the same.
You just don't know.
Ethel was 8 when I retired her, whereas I think hopefully Arrow will be going way longer than that. So again, it's dog dependent. Like Ethel, I could see her struggling. Like once you can just see it, can't you? So it's not like it is a hard decision, but at the same time, deep down, you kind of know when it's time to do that, I guess. So
yeah, it's not really something you can put much of a date on.
No, exactly. Yeah, when you know, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what future career would you like to go into?
I think I definitely like to do some things with agility training.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure right now.
Because you're in school, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in year 10 at school. Mm-hmm. So in Wales, you do your GCSEs in year 10 and 11.
Oh, have you started then?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's not very fun.
What GCSE subjects are you doing?
So PE, because I thought I'd be able to do it about agility.
Yeah.
But agility, like a WJC, like official sport.
Yeah,
so
that's what they told me actually.
Agility.
Yeah, because
I was like, what's my fitness?
Yeah, because that's the reason I didn't end up doing PE in school. I remember now. That's a throwback. God, that must have been like 8 years ago or whatever. Probably more. And they told me that I'd have to do another sport, and I was like, but I don't do anything else, so I just didn't do it.
Exactly. I don't have time to do anything
exactly.
else. Then you've got to do like a training plan and everything, and I'm like, this would be perfect to find what I actually do.
I suppose to them it's the dog that's doing the sport, isn't it? Even though it's actually not.
But they do horse riding, and I personally thought that was very unfair that they let you do horse riding but not agility.
That's less activity for the rider than it is a dog handler, because they're just sat there. Well, they're not just sat there. I'm going to trigger loads of people, but they're sat down as opposed to we're sprinting around. I know there's more to it than that before people come for me, but yeah. I did used to horse ride.
I think they should both be in there, you know?
I do.
Horse riding and agility definitely deserve to be.
They should definitely be on par at least.
Yeah, definitely.
What sport are you doing instead then?
Well, you have to do 3 sports.
Oh.
But it's just like the ones you do in PE at school.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the ones you're sort of just forced to do, because that's what you do in lessons. They give you a score and then they just use your vestry.
Oh, okay. Like netball and stuff.
Yeah, or like badminton.
Yeah, I love badminton.
And then, I love badminton. And for my main sport, which is the one you have to do all the writing and training plans and all that, so I do athletics, because, at least it's running.
Yeah, it's a bit of an all-rounder. I know another one of my thoughts was cross-country, because I did a bit of that, and I was like, well, it's running, so it's kind of tied into agility, right?
But yeah, I just don't really enjoy long-distance running. Like, short distance or middle distance I can do, but not the long distance. I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah, can't relate. I prefer long distance. Fair enough. So we've gone off on a tangent there, haven't we? So career-wise, what else are you doing or working towards in school and stuff?
So my other two options are geography and computer science, which,
we're literally the same person, because I did iMedia and geography and then Spanish as well.
Oh, wow.
We're literally the same. You are literally a 15-year-old version of me.
I did actually consider picking Spanish, but didn't in the end.
Be glad you didn't. It was boring.
No. So in Wales, you have to do Welsh for GCSE anyway. So
oh, okay.
I can't bother to do two languages, can I?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true.
But yeah, so I do think I'm going to do A-levels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really too sure what I want to do after that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to have a career like outside of dogs that'll be like potentially higher earning.
Yeah, that was my dilemma for so long.
Afford my fancy venue at the house and all my loads of dogs and show entries and that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I've only recently kind of switched my career choice, because obviously I did animal management at college instead of A-level because I was just terrible at exams. I hated them. And then I did canine behaviour at uni. So it's quite niche. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really keeping my options open. But I've now decided, instead of doing the agility training, I'm going to do dog grooming. You've probably seen. So I'm now studying dog grooming. And I'm 22 and I've only just decided to do that. So plenty of time. But
exactly.
You got to think, haven't you, about like money, unfortunately. And I'm like, well, probably make more doing that than training. Ideally, you do like a proper good earner and then a bit of training on the side. I think that would be quite nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then, you know, when you get like sort of more well-known for agility training or whatever, then I can like, you know, retire early or something.
Bit of a side grind. Side hustle.
Yeah.
So you're not too sure what exactly you want to do yet?
Yeah, so I'm just not really sure.
I feel like it's hard to decide in school. Like, does anyone really know? Like, is anyone actually going to do what they want to do in school? Probably not. I know I didn't.
Yeah.
So
even the people who do have like really set ideas what they want to do, like, you know, you might change your mind.
They probably will, yeah. And they'll probably try it and then hate it and then swap or whatever. So, I think they put way too much pressure on you to decide too young. I hate it, but that's another topic. That's another thing I could rant about for days. So do you think you will continue to do agility throughout your life?
Yes, I definitely think so.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really think why I wouldn't.
Definitely.
But quite a simple answer there. Yes.
Same here. People have asked me that loads. They're like, oh yeah, but it's just your hobby. Like, you won't do that when you get a job. And I'm like, watch me, I will. Like, I literally will.
It's so all-consuming of your life.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. I just can't imagine not doing it. Yeah. Like, I'm like, what would I do on a weekend? Like, yes, I'd go out in the evening and at night, but like throughout the day, what am I going to do? Just sit there? Like,
it's just weird to imagine. Like, sometimes I just think, I'm like, people who don't do agility, like,
what do they think about? Like, it's so strange. I'd get up in the morning, go to the gym, have like 8 hours to do nothing, and then go out at night. Like, what do you do in that? What do you do? I don't get it.
I know.
But
it's weird.
No, I'm the same. I definitely think I'll carry on doing it. And it's exciting to think of like, oh, you know, I'll be still doing it in 10, 20 years. I wonder what it'll be like. You know, I wonder what dogs I'll have, stuff like that. Like,
because that's the thing with a lot of other sports. Like, there are sort of a few years and you'll be in like your peak physical condition to be competitive, and then not so much. But I mean, you can be at the top levels of agility any age, really.
Yeah, exactly. And like, even fitness, obviously, like, I say all these things about importance of fitness and agility, but at the same time, like, there's people who aren't as fit and don't do as much like moving, and they're still better than me. Like, they're still amazing. And that's just because their dog training is so good. So yeah, I definitely think it's something that I'd like to still do when I'm like 70. I don't know about you, but I feel like that's definitely possible. 100%. But yeah, I also think it takes the pressure off a bit, thinking, you know, I'm going to be in this for the long run. Like, I'm going to be in it for the rest of my life. So I don't need to win everything now. I don't need to like achieve all my goals now. I might not even achieve it with the dog I've got now. Do you get what I mean? Like,
there's just loads more time.
Like, yes, we want to go to the main arena at Crufts, but that might happen with a different dog in 5-10 years. So it's kind of nice to think about that. Because you're like, well, I don't have to do it all now with this dog necessarily. So I think that always helps having that mindset as well. So it's nice to think that we'll be doing it forever. Because then there's no time limit on anything, is there? So, what inspired the name of your new puppy?
So, my puppy's name is Thyme, for anyone who doesn't know. But it's spelled like the herb, so Thyme. And it's pronounced Thyme, not Thyme.
Oh no, have you had that? Have people said that?
Yeah.
No.
I have, yeah. I've had 2 people think it was that.
That's not even a word.
No, it's not.
That's so funny.
But yeah, there's not really any like special sentimental reason behind it. It's just been a name that was on my list. You know, the list in the notes app on your phone that everyone has.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for just years and years, and then when it came down to picking a name, I just thought it was the best option. Really,
it is. I really do like it. That is nice. Yeah. It rolls off the. It's like a smooth name, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's nice, sort of short and like linked to agility, sort of, but not like too much.
Yeah, course time.
yeah.
Hopefully, quick times.
Yeah.
How old is your puppy
now? She's currently 7 weeks.
I love that stage. So cute.
Yeah,
they like still smell like puppy as well. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So she turns 8 weeks while we're at WAC, so I'm picking her up at 9 weeks. So I've got an extra week to wait, but
what a great time to be alive. You're going to a European event and then you're getting a puppy. Perfect. What a great month. July is a good month.
Oh, so it's perfect.
Amazing. How many other names did you have on your list then?
I think maybe I had about 10 or something, and then I sort of slowly eliminated them. I was actually quite set on the name Pixel for a while.
Okay.
Which is a nice name.
That is a nice name. I prefer Time though.
Yeah,
100%.
And I think I always said I'm not going to decide until I've met the puppy, and then I met her, and I was like,
yeah, they've got to look like it, haven't they?
Yeah, and once I knew which one I was getting, I was like, you're not a Pixel. You're definitely a Time.
See, that list that you've got on your phone notes, that's like the most sacred list. Like, no one can see that. Yeah. It's literally yours. Like, I have a name for my next dog, but I refuse to like tell loads of people. Because I'm like, someone might steal it. Like, probably not one of my mates, but like a random could steal it, and then I'll be really upset.
And then anyone you do tell your names to, it's proper honour for them.
That is an honour. They've got to feel really special.
Yeah.
But I don't have loads, to be fair. I think for Arrow I only had like 2 or 3. And then now I've only got 1 that I'm thinking of for the next dog. So maybe I'm just not very creative. And also in agility, like pet people don't have this, I don't think. But you want something that's like different that no one else has. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
got to be pretty unique.
Yeah, and you have a name that you really like, and then you like look on Facebook and you see someone else with it, and you're like, well, I can't use that now.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
I mean, I do know of one other dog called Time, but I mean, I think it's very difficult to find a name that you really love, that there's no other dog anywhere that has the same name. So I was just like, just it's the name I like. It's not.
Well, after I'd already called Arrow, I came across a dog that was actually way older than Arrow that was also called Arrow. So it looked like I'd copied him. I was like, I just swear I didn't even know.
I know.
And then a different Arrow followed me on TikTok, and it's a spaniel, and I was like, what's going on? There's so many.
So many arrows.
I know, it's so bizarre. But no, it is fun coming up with a name, 100%.
Yeah.
One of the best bits about getting a puppy.
And the puppy shopping as well.
And then also, agility people, like, you've got to pretend you're saying the name on course and see if it sounds nice to, like, yell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And you don't want, like, 20 syllables either.
Yeah. And for their kennel club names, you've got to imagine, like, you know, someone reading it out, you know.
Yeah. Do you have what's a kennel club name?
So it's Duende Prime Time.
Oh, I love it. It rhymes and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even rhymes with time.
Exactly.
Oh,
I told my friends in school, and they were like, "Oh no, that's terrible." It's like,
it's like you won't understand.
Yeah, I was like, agility people, no one's going to think that. That's not going to cross anyone's mind.
Well, loads of people at my work are like, why would you call your dog Arrow? And it's like, you won't understand. Your dog's called like Fido or something, like, back off.
It's just different.
Yeah, literally. I mean, Earl and Ethel, like, they have just old people names. My parents chose them because I feel like Border Terriers look like old dogs, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like Arrow's the first dog that I've got that, like, has more of an out there name, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but it is so much fun. So what advice? This is a really random one. I didn't know whether to include it because it's super off topic, but I thought I'd throw it in anyway and we could like answer it together. But someone would like to know what advice you would give someone who is worried about their dog running off in a non-enclosed ring. So have you ever had this issue?
Well, Farley has run out of the ring once.
Okay.
Happened quite recently, actually. So it was at Y Valley Agility Show, which, for those who don't know, the venue that they used this year, the field they used this year, was right by a river.
Oh.
And we were in a ring that was right by the river.
Oh, no.
And I think you can guess where it's going.
I'm guessing she knew the river was there.
Yeah.
Did she go in?
She didn't actually go in, but she ran out of the ring, ran over to the river, and I think she was just so excited. I could tell in the start line. She didn't even want to face the jump. She was just like...
You can tell when they're preoccupied, can't you?
Yeah.
Bless her.
But I still didn't think she'd actually run over because she's just such an honest dog. Like, she just really... She wants to get it right. She wants to please.
Yeah.
But no, the river. The river was more important.
Yeah. I mean, retrievers like water, don't they, I suppose? Although Arrow's not too... I mean, Arrow does like it, but the first time he went swimming, he, like, submerged. And like, he went in too sort of... He didn't think about what he was doing. He went under for, like, 5 seconds and popped up and he was like, what on earth's going on? So I think he shocked himself a bit there and put him off. Bless him.
When Farley first saw water when she was a puppy, like, she hated it. Didn't want to go near it.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't until that one she actually go in water. But then... As she's got older, she's just got more and more obsessed.
Was it a hot day when she ran to the river by any chance? Because that's quite smart.
Not particularly.
I was going to say, if it was, then that's quite smart. She's trying to cool down.
Yeah. No, she is like that. There's a pond just right next to where we train. She does like to take herself off for a
bless
dip
her.
and get a bit warm.
But no, Arrow's never ran out the ring either, touch wood. Which is surprising because he does like he's quite hormonal at the moment, you know, as boys are. And he likes going after girls and weeing and stuff like that. But what I think he's a kind of dog, which Farley's probably the same. Like, once they're engaged, that's it. Like, they're just set on that task and which I guess, again. So I'd say my advice for that would be just try and work on your relationship with your dog. Because, you know, I'm guessing you and Farley have, like, a really good relationship outside of agility too. So she doesn't want to run away from you. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And she loves agility and you enough not to. I think that's the main thing, like having that relationship with your dog, I guess. Ethel did have a phase of running out the ring to people, and it was so random, but I didn't even try to fix it. I just let it run its course and she'd come back and then she just grew out of it. Like, it lasted a month. So, yeah, I don't really know what advice you'd give for that. Maybe go to shows with fenced off rings to start with.
I don't... It always makes me a bit worried when I see, like, loose dogs around at shows. Yeah,
literally terrifies me.
Farley was running in a ring and a dog just suddenly appeared and started chasing her. And it hasn't happened, but I know if it did...
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, she wouldn't react, like, aggressively, I think, but I just think it would really worry her and she would get a bit...
Yeah, same with Arrow. I'd worry it'd, like, do his confidence in. But I worried with Ethel because she was quite feisty, so I was like, oh my god, she'd probably try and scrap with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably...
So I think you've just got to be careful, and if you think your dog is really going to run out, maybe just stick to enclosed ring shows until they're ready.
I was going to say, I probably wouldn't compete in that environment unless you know your dog's not going to do that. I feel like that's the safest bet. You know, practice where that's not going to happen. I just personally wouldn't risk it, it's too scary.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be that person.
Things can happen, like Farley running off the river, but if you know going into the show you've got quite a high chance your dog's going to run out.
Yeah. Obviously there's one-offs, but that's just, you can't do anything about that. But I wouldn't go into that environment knowing your dog is likely to run off. That's like probably not smart. But I thought that was a bit of a random question. Someone obviously thought that you'd be a good person to ask about that.
Yeah, no, I'm probably not the best one to ask.
But anyway. Right, so the last question, what advice do you have for juniors starting out in agility to round up everything about competing as a junior?
So I would say if you're just like properly starting out in agility, find a good trainer, a good training club. If you think you're going to want to compete in the future, I'd definitely make sure you find a competitive club, or, you know, with people there who are experienced in competing.
I mean, I started with a non-competitive club and it was kind of nice because they were all like so chilled and it was nice, And that was with Earl. But then when I got Ethel, like the training it didn't suit competition, so they didn't reinforce contacts and stuff like that. So when I started competing, that was an issue, like she was jumping her contacts and stuff. Whereas with Arrow, knowing I was going to compete with him, I went straight to Lucy. And then, you know, we were kind of training for competition. So yeah, I agree with that piece of advice, definitely.
Yeah. And then once you are ready to start competing, I would say just go for it, and don't let the fact that you're a junior sort of limit your options, or don't sort of be put off by that.
Yeah,
so I've spoken to, like, you know, some adults, like, you know, that you speak to, like, outside of the gym, and like they're always really shocked to find out that you compete like with adults.
Yeah,
and
and it's like, but why not? Why can't I? Yeah, 100%.
And you know, you might find out that you're better than half of them anyway.
Yeah,
so
literally.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like junior agility is more popular now than it was, say, when I was your age or whatever. Like, there's more juniors in it, which I suppose is nice because you don't feel so, oh, I'm the only kid here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it can be a bit intimidating for some people, but going in with adults, especially when you get to like 6, 7, and you've got I'm going to name drop here, like Dave and Dan and Martin and all those great people. You know, like, oh my God, I'm in the same class as these people.
I know, yeah.
But it's definitely about trying not to think about that and just going for it anyway, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think for YKC stuff as well, just go for that as well, because I remember at I think it was my second agility show, I went to Derbyshire, which is quite a weird one for my second show.
Right, okay.
Like, it's not local at all to me, but that was my...
There you go.
And I did the jumping cup, well, under 18 jumping, it was called then. Yeah. And I just remember going over, and I could like see people course walking. There was everyone walking around in like GB t-shirts and everything. And I was like, oh my God.
Like, oh my God.
And I was quite scared of everyone.
Yeah.
That's weird now though, because I'll be doing Derbyshire this year with like my GB kit on.
I know, it's bizarre, isn't it? You never know what'll happen.
Exactly, you know, in 2 years that could be you.
But the YKC is definitely, I'd say, a good place to start if you're like a junior coming in.
Yeah.
Because again, it's other people your age, you know, you make some friends. It's just not quite as intimidating, I think.
Yeah.
I just wish I'd started sooner. Like, I wish I'd started from young, where I could do like the 6 to 11 and stuff like that, and not age out so quick. But I just didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I knew YKC was a thing, but I just didn't really know about the normal agility shows.
Oh, really? See, I was the opposite. I knew about the normal, and like, I'd do all these local shows, and I was pretty much the only junior at the time. And then I was like, oh my God, there's an actual club for people my age to do agility. Amazing.
Yeah. I think a lot of people also think that, like, it's impossible to qualify for crafts unless you're, like, really, really good.
Yeah.
But you have, like, pairs and graduate agility and everything, and
exactly.
you just give it a go, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I think starting out without the pressure as well, just thinking, like, going into it because you want to, not because you want to win, if that makes sense. I've talked about that a few times on other episodes and stuff. I'm going to throw in another little quick random question that I think we'll both be able to relate to is, again, like you said at the start, coming from a non-agility family, non-agility background. Do you feel like that sort of affected you, or do you feel like that's put you at a bit more of a disadvantage as opposed to like juniors who've been brought up in it and have their parents help? And this is, again, probably quite triggering for a lot of people, parents' dogs that are already trained.
Yeah.
Do you think that's had a big effect or not?
Possibly, yeah. I think probably the biggest issue for me is just often like getting to shows a lot of the time, because I think if you've got parents who compete in agility,
you're just going to be there, aren't you?
They want to go to shows as well. So you can do family shows together, and it's great.
100%.
You know, especially like I just always want to be at shows, you know, up and down the country, but my parents just haven't. You know, they don't. Like, they're very good at taking me to shows.
Yeah.
But because they know it's something that I enjoy.
Yeah, that's true.
But they haven't really got, like, their own reasons to want to go there.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, what have you got? 2 years till you can learn to drive? Then you can be at all the shows.
Counting down the days.
Yeah, literally. And then you'll be wanting a van like I am at the moment. I'm like, oh, I need a van. I don't need a van, but, you know, I'm like, well, I'm an agility person. I feel like I need a van.
That's it. Everyone needs a van.
Yeah. But no, I think for me it was quite frustrating at times when, you know, juniors who ran sort of pre-trained dogs that were, like, incredibly trained by adults would sort of beat me with Ethel, who I'd literally trained from nothing. Like, that was frustrating at times. But I still think I preferred that than, you know, I think the feeling's better when you train your own dog because there's more pride in it, I think. Like when you win with a dog that you know you've done that, you've trained it to that standard, I feel like it's just way more rewarding than sort of thinking, well, I just ran it, someone else trained it. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you still have to be a good handler and do well to win with a pre-trained dog, but when you actually train it, it's like everything is you and that dog, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, Farley's my dog. I've had her since she was a puppy, you know. I think I have the best sort of connection with her that, you know, I mean, me and Topic do have, like, fairly good connection, but you know, it's never going to be quite the same. Yeah.
And again, no hate to people, because like if someone offered me a dog to run, I would run it, obviously, but like when I was younger with a dog that I trained, it was definitely not a huge issue, but something that I was sort of aware was going on. And you know, you see like these handlers and you're like, oh no, they're here, do you know what I mean? Like they're probably going to beat me with that dog. But, I mean, I ran a staffy called Kelly I think like maybe 5 years ago. And, like, I would win with her, but it wasn't quite the same feeling as when I won with Ethel. Like, do you know what I mean? Which you probably have a bit with Farley and Topic. Like, obviously you want to win with all of them, but when you win with Farley, you're probably like, oh, yeah, I did that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we got here together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a good thing.
It's really cool with Topic as well, but... Yeah, it's definitely nice knowing you sort of trained up your own agility dog.
Yeah, 100%.
And I guess with Farley as well, because she wasn't, when we got her, I didn't really, I can't remember if I knew what agility was at the time or not, but yeah, she wasn't a dog bought with intention of agility or anything like that. She was just, you know, the family pet.
Yeah.
And I just know she's got to all these high levels now.
Yeah, literally. Pet dog gone Team GB.
Yeah, basically.
Amazing. Well, that is all of the questions. That has gone so fast.
I know, it has.
Crazy. Well, I'll see you at the Junior Open anyway. How exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's been really nice.
So that was my conversation with Nia. Super interesting and super fun to chat to her today. Thank you again, Nia, for coming on the podcast. It was really interesting to see how junior agility has changed since I was Nia's age. I still can't believe she's 15. She does not seem younger than me. Maybe I'm just really mature, like I said. I want to wish Nia the best of luck at the Junior European Open Agility World Championships. Why has that got such a large name, or am I butchering it? I don't even know. But yeah, that is next week, so that is super exciting. And without further ado, if you could follow me on all of the social medias, I will put them here on the YouTube video and down below in the description on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, leave the podcast a rating or review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or both if you're feeling generous. That would mean the world to me. Keep sending me more guest ideas. I want to get as many of the guests that you guys want to see on the podcast as possible. And then just solo episode ideas as well would be super helpful for me to come up with more ideas for you guys and really give you the episodes that you would like to see. So, you know the drill. I will see you all next Wednesday. Bye.